Welcome back to the Hot Wheels Garage. Today we're looking at something very special.
519 million vehicles.
Wow.
That's how many Hot Wheels Mattel cranks out in a single year. If you do the math, that's something like 16 and a half cars rolling off the line every single second.
It is the absolute definition of mass production.
Right.
And it means the vast majority of those little cars are exactly what they look like. A toy.
Right. A commodity item, you can find them anywhere.
Easily found, easily replaced, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Exactly. Because every savvy investor knows that even in a sea of commodities, there are assets. Hidden, valuable ones. And this deep dive is all about that. We're going to ignore the noise and focus on the signal. We're looking at what the professional community calls the Sinclair Hot Wheels Protocol.
It's a system, really. It transforms casual collecting into, a highly efficient asset recovery strategy.
So this Sinclair mindset, as the sources call it, it's about moving past just getting lucky, right?
Oh, completely. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's all about data, logistics, and operational efficiency. You're trying to secure a time advantage at the store. It's not a hobby anymore. It's arbitrage.
Our mission today, then, is to unpack that whole architecture of rarity. And then we'll get into the logistics you need to know for, consistent success on the secondary market. If you've ever wondered how people find those holy grail models over and over again,
It's not magic.
it's not magic, it's just extremely diligent homework.
That's right.
Okay, so let's unpack this. If you're treating these like a real asset class, the first thing you need is instant identification. You have to know a model's value in seconds standing in a busy aisle. So what defines that value?
It all starts with the main line. That's the backbone.
The 250 numbered models they release every year.
Exactly. And while most of them are, just toys, the key insight for any reseller is to focus almost exclusively on the licensed real-world cars. We're talking Porsche, Nissan, BMW, Audi.
And why is that? Why do those consistently sell for more than, say, Mattel's own fantasy designs?
It's about collectability and nostalgia. The market for a licensed JDM car, a Japanese domestic market car, or an iconic European sports car, is global. It's enduring. And it's driven by adult collectors.
Not kids.
Not kids. These collectors might even be interested in the real full-scale car. The fantasy castings just don't have that multi-generational appeal to sustain a high secondary market price.
Understood. So licensed cars are the high-floor assets.
Yeah.
But the real money is in the hidden stuff.
Mhm.
Let's start with the entry-level one, the standard treasure hunt, the TH.
Right. So these have been sort of discreetly mixed into the main line since 2013. They're desirable, but they're not impossible to find.
And how do you spot one?
Two things to look for. The first is a circular flame logo. They call it the circle flame. And it's printed right on the car itself.
Okay, on the car. And the second, Q.
This is on the packaging card. Behind the vehicle, you'll see a silver version of that same flame logo. It's often small, and sometimes the car is blocking it, so a real hunter knows to look for both.
A standard TH can go for, what, 5 to 15 euros? Manageable?
Yeah, in that range. But it's nothing compared to the real Holy Grail.
The super treasure hunt, the STH.
The STH is what builds legends. The rarity is just, it's dramatic. The sources estimate it's roughly 1 in every 15 shipping cases.
Why?
And what makes them so valuable are the premium materials. It's a feature set Mattel only uses for these editions.
Okay, so what are those features? Break it down for us.
Two critical things. First, SpectraFlame paint. This is not your standard gloss.
Right.
It's a multi-layer metallic flake process. It gives the car this deep, reflective, almost color-shifting finish. It just pops visually, and it's very hard for counterfeiters to replicate.
And the second thing?
Real rider's tire.
Actual rubber, not the hard plastic wheel.
Exactly. Real rubber with tread.
So premium materials justify that premium price. How do you spot the STH packaging in the wild? Quickly.
Same idea as the TH, but you're looking for gold. On the vehicle itself, there's a little TH script hidden somewhere, maybe on a spoiler or the license plate.
Subtle.
Very. But the critical thing, the part that screams payday, is that symbol behind the car on the card. It has to be a golden flame logo.
So silver flame, standard treasure hunt, gold flame.
You've just found a potential 50 to, over 200 euro asset. That entire margin hangs on the color of a tiny little printed flame.
Incredible. And beyond these main tiers, the sources point to specific store exclusives that become instant profit assets, especially if you're hunting outside the U.S.
This is where logistics creates value. Think about the Zamac models from Walmart.
Zamac.
It's the unpainted, polished zinc alloy finish, or you have the red edition models, which are exclusive to Target in the US.
And because these don't really show up in Europe, what happens to the price?
Well, the sources say that because of that scarcity, the import barriers, the distance, they can get markups of 300 to 500% almost immediately in a market like Germany.
So you're basically capitalizing on geographical arbitrage.
Exactly. You're turning a $1.50 car into a $10 asset just by moving it across an ocean.
Okay, if we're really thinking about this as a strategic class, we have to go beyond just the car itself. You're saying the packaging is a document.
That's it, exactly. A professional hunter doesn't see a toy card. They see a logistics document.
Which feels like the kind of detail most people just, throw away. Why do we need to study the card types?
Because the card tells you vital information about the car's origin, specifically the case mix it came from.
And that's essential for predicting if an STH might be in there.
Right. You've got two main types. The U.S. long card is, well, longer and conveniently. The case mix letter A through Q is printed right on the back above the barcode. Simple.
But the challenge is for everyone else, the hunters outside the U.S.
Correct. The challenge is the international short card, which is standard in Europe. And crucially, it does not include the case mix letter.
So doesn't that make hunting in Europe just a pure roll of the dice? I mean, how does the Sinclair Protocol deal with that risk?
It accounts for it with community intelligence. When you're hunting with short cards, the protocol says you use other methods. You track collector numbers on the card and cross-reference them with online databases or even YouTube unboxing videos to figure out the mix.
So you're trading instant confirmation for digital legwork.
That's the cost of hunting abroad.
But getting that mixed letter is the key. It's the core of that whole data over luck mindset.
Absolutely. And speaking of hidden data, that silver or gold flame logo we talked about, the source stresses that you often have to physically tilt the blister pack to see it.
It's hidden behind the car.
Intentionally. If you're just looking straight on, you could miss a multi-$100 find completely. It's a literal Easter egg for the most dedicated hunters.
Let's move to the logistics then, the Mattel case system.
Yeah.
How are all these millions of cars distributed in a way that we can actually track?
Mattel uses an alphabet system. They release 15 distinct mixes per year, lettered A through Q.
They skip I and O.
They skip I and O. And what's really important for planning is the timeline. The cycle for a given year actually starts in September of the previous year with the A mix.
So a hunter paying attention in the fall and winter has a proprietary knowledge advantage over the average person walking in on January 1st.
It's basically insider trading for toys. You have a 4-month knowledge window. And the highest level of this is decoding the shipping carton stamp itself.
The code on the big 72 car box, something like 99LJQR.
Exactly. It looks complex, but you're decoding a military-style logistics tag. In that example, the last letter of the first group, the J, that's what identifies the mix.
So that's a J-mix box.
Yeah.
And if you've done your homework, you know which STH is possible in the J-mix.
Precisely. And the second group of letters, the QR, that tells you the production status. AA means it was an early run of that mix.
Which could mean factory errors or variations.
Right. A later code like QR means it was later in the production run. Hunters often prefer those early codes. And then you even get a Julian date code, like 0724N1.
Let me guess. 72nd day of 2024, manufactured on shift N1.
You got it. If you can read that stamp, you know exactly what could be inside without ever opening the box.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Moving from just writing the data to actively hunting. The Sinclair Protocol treats this like a logistical operation, not random chance. It starts with strategic store visits.
That's right. It's operational planning, not a weekend hobby. The source recommends what it calls morning raids.
You visit stores right when they open, especially on weekdays.
Exactly. You want to intercept the stock as it's being put out. Before casual buyers or other hunters get there, you're securing that critical time advantage.
But what about big box stores? The sources talk about a tactic called pallet raiding.
Pallet raiding is key in those larger stores. You're looking for the shipping pallets that get rolled into the aisles late at night before closing. That's the stock for the next morning.
So you can intercept unopened cases right off the pallet.
Before they're even taken to the pegs. It's the gold standard for finding fresh, untouched stock. You mitigate the risk of it being picked over.
Why not just buy a full case online then? Seems safer than lurking by the stockroom.
Because any single case is random. You're not guaranteed an STH, remember, it's 1 in 15 cases.
So you're spending a premium on 72 cars you might not even want.
Right. Strategic hunting lets you intercept the cases going to retail, read the carton code, and do rapid visual checks. You minimize your investment while maximizing your probability of finding that high-value car.
The sources are also specific about where to hunt, mentioning hotspots in Germany.
Yes. For the European market, the sources specifically named Teddy as the key place for international short cards. And Miller is cited as being excellent for premium series and high-quality mainlines. That local knowledge is just as valuable.
Okay, this next piece of advice seems totally counterintuitive to this whole ruthless mindset. The cleanup trick. Why would a professional asset hunter tidy up a retail aisle?
Because, as the source material makes very clear, you are playing the long game. It's relationship building disguised as courtesy.
How does that work?
If you leave the shelf tidier than you found it, staff are often more willing to voluntarily go get unopened cases from the back for you. They don't have to deal with a messy aisle. One hunter called it professional courtesy. The key here isn't cash, it's goodwill.
That completely shifts the paradigm. Okay, so once you've got the asset, let's talk portfolio. Which models guarantee that high ROI?
The strategy has to focus on historically proven growth. That means JDM, Japanese domestic market, and Euro classics. These are the blue chips.
And they can get an immediate ROI of over 200%.
Oh, easily. The sources list specific models. The Nissan Skyline R32, R33, R34, various Porsche 911s, the Audi RS6 Avant.
And the strategy isn't just about finding single cars, right? It's about volume through something called lot breaking.
Yes, that's a key tactic for covering your costs. You buy bulk collections, big boxes of used cars for no more than, say, 50 cents a piece.
Okay.
Then you sort them. You pull out the high-value gems, the JDM models, any treasure hunts, to sell individually for high margins. The rest of the common cars you sell off quickly in themed lots.
Like 20-piece fire and police vehicle set.
Exactly. You sell those to cover your initial investment. So your entire profit margin comes almost entirely from those few gems you pulled out.
We should probably mention the hyper-niche market of production errors. Things like wrong wheels or backwards packaging.
Right, fail production, as they call them in Germany. They can definitely multiply the value of a piece for certain collectors, but it's highly speculative. You hunt the STHs, but you bank on the reliable JDM classics.
So connecting this all together, the professional hunter is relying less on their eyes and more on their digital arsenal.
Absolutely. Your sustained success is completely tied to your digital tool set.
Sure.
For inventory, for market assessment, all of it.
What are the must-have tools for this kind of thing?
In the field, for Quick ID, you've got Mattel's own Hot Wheels Showcase. It's an AI search that uses SKU numbers. For inventory management and community news, you need an app like the Cars.
But the most important tool for knowing what something is really worth
Is the sold listings function on eBay?
That's the key distinction, isn't it? Anyone can list a car for 500 euros. That's just speculation.
Precisely. The sold listings show what a buyer actually paid. That's the real market value. That's what guides your pricing. And for quick liquidation of all those common cars, the source suggests platforms like Whatnot for live auctions.
So the highest level of this requires future planning. You have to anticipate the market. What does the Sinclair Protocol say about the roadmap for 2025 and 2026?
This is where the data lets you plan your morning raids months in advance. For 2025, hunters are being told to immediately target models like the 87 Audi Quattro STH in Spectraflame Green from Case and the 94 Bugatti EB110 SS STH that'll be in Case Leo.
And what about the biggest target for 2026? The one everyone's waiting for?
According to all the leaks and community hype, the #1 model is the Ferrari F40 Competizione STH.
Wow.
Specifically, the one in KC and Spectraflame Grigionardo. This pre-knowledge lets you focus all your effort on specific dates and specific carton codes. It's maximum efficiency.
Okay, finally, let's talk asset protection. You find a 200-euro car. You don't want its value to just crater because you handled it wrong.
The value loss is just. It's staggering. A simple crease on the card, even a soft corner, can drop an STH's resale value by 30 to 50%.
50%.
Instantly. So immediate protection is mandatory. You have to use protectors like a 999 or a Sterling protector. The second you find a high-value piece, it's your insurance policy.
And for the really high-end stuff you plan to hold long-term.
You need grading services. In Europe, that's AOG or GSG. They guarantee authenticity, they confirm the condition, and that substantially boosts the resale value because it takes all the speculation out of the deal for the buyer.
So the final risk is just avoiding the inside joke.
Right. Opened, re-glued, or cherry-picked cases. You have to learn to spot them and avoid them at all costs.
Your journey through the Sinclair Protocol may end here, but your career as a strategic investor is just beginning. What this guide really drills down on is that success requires intense discipline, deep technical knowledge, and a cool, calculating head.
You now have the data-driven framework you need to distinguish yourself from a casual collector who's just hoping to get lucky. You understand the visual cues, the carton decoding, the portfolio management, everything you need to treat a $1.50 toy as a high ROI asset.
The sources stress that respectful engagement with store employees and meticulous digital portfolio management are your strongest tools. The protocol effectively says that the pursuit of profit has to override the simple joy of discovery. And this raises an important question. How does relying on complex logistics and profit maximization fundamentally change what was once a simple childhood hobby? Think about that balance between the pure joy of just finding a cool little car and the cool pressure of maximizing profit on an asset. That's something to mull over until our next deep dive.